Good afternoon and welcome to the weekly sales webinar, or good morning if you're coming to us from the West Coast of the US. And my name is George Leith. It's a pleasure to be with you today. We are talking about, it's more in our vertical specific training series here in the weekly sales webinar, talking about selling to real estate developers, brokers, and agents. And it's a question that I get asked a lot when we are talking to partners is, how would I sell this in the real estate space? And I think that there are a number of different applications when we talk about real estate opportunities. And I want to dig into some of those today. And we're going to talk about the foundational solutions, and then we're going to get into the advertising solutions as well. So that's what it's all about today. We are continuing with our vertical specific training sessions, and we're talking all about real estate. So the exciting news is about 60 days ago, we started talking about this new marketing stack. And now I'm getting a lot of buy-in when I go out in market. I spent the last month or so working in market. We were in the UK, we were in the southern US, talking to lots of different partners and different customers. And I think the story is really starting to resonate with customers and with our agencies and media companies that, we've spent a lot of time in our careers, and I've been doing this for about 30 years working in the advertising business. We spent a lot of time on the left-hand side of the screen selling advertising solutions. But if we aren't taking care of the marketing that is inside listings and search engine optimization, the reputation piece, social, our website and in-store experience, and then ultimately continuing to market to those customers that we have, and work around that loyalty, we're missing out on a lot of what is the new marketing stack for businesses. And it's really easy to do research. And I think that it's important that we understand as sales professionals that we need to constantly be learning. And that's one thing that I'm really starting to push with the sales organizations that I'm consulting with on a daily and weekly basis, is that in this space today of trying to become the trusted marketing advisor, we need to be learning at a very, very fast rate, on a very quick curve, because there's so many new things being thrown at us all the time. The convention that I was at 2 weeks ago in London was in the directory and the search business and the newspaper business in Europe, and everybody's talking about voice search and what voice search means to our lives. I actually got given a Google Home after doing a keynote speech last week in Dallas, and the group that I was working with as their gift in the swag bag was a Google Home. And I've been playing with that thing at my house over the last few days, and understanding that it's a whole different world when you start talking about voice search. So this is just one example of the fact that we need to be doing a lot of research and a lot of education for ourselves as trusted marketing consultants, and then also for our customers, because it's very easy for those folks to do the exact same research that we're doing. And my motto and my goal this year in working with the sales organizations that I work with around the world is to teach those salespeople that you need to become an influencer. It's not as much as walking out with the package and the one sheeter. It is about learning about your customers and figuring out ways to help them with that new marketing stack and become an influencer more than you are a salesperson. So, we're talking about real estate today, and I've kind of broken it up into three different categories. We've got our real estate developers. They have a separate set of problems. We have our real estate brokers, which are the people that run the offices. And then underneath that, we have our real estate agents. You might want to tie into this mortgage brokers as well, and home inspection companies and movers, and anyone that is related to that sale of a home. And I was at the Burrell convention here about a month back, and the CEO of Homes.com was on stage talking about everything that's related to that purchase of a house. And there's a lot of things when it comes to a home or a condo purchase. You've got people that need movers. You've got people that need insurance agents. You've got folks that need storage facilities sometimes, maybe the people that clean a home. So there's a whole bunch of different things that tie into that, the purchase of a house. And I think I'm very bullish on this vertical when it comes to talking to them about that new marketing stack, from digital advertising right on through to making sure the customers remain loyal. I will tell you that one thing that's really resonating when I'm out talking to our partners is this idea of a customer journey. And there's a couple different customer journeys that we're referring to here. And what I'm referring to right now, when we go to sell to real estate agents, brokers, developers, we start off in that acquisition phase, which is at the top, where we're researching the prospects. We're then educating those prospects on how we can help them. When those prospects raise their hand, we are mining that intent and we're moving in to help consult and close the business. And then we have to retain that business by making sure that they adopt the products and services that we have put in front of them, that they understand the proof of performance and the fact that there's value there. And then again, mining intent and upselling and cross-selling into other opportunities. So this buyer's journey applies to the customers that we are marketing to with the platform. And I think it's important to remember that every business has a buyer's funnel. And the fact that buying decisions are made online, our customers in the real estate space need to understand that a lot of those buying decisions are made way before they ever walk onto one of our lots, through one of our developments, call the brokerage office, speak to the real estate agent. They have done a ton of research. And especially in the real estate space, it's so easy for us to do research because real estate was one of the early adopters of utilizing online to present their message. So I believe that that 88% number is very true, if not even higher, of the people that are doing research online and making those buying decisions. So when I speak to real estate agents and developers and brokerage firms, I'm always talking about how leads become sales and the fact that we do a bunch of advertising, talking about who we are, our propaganda about our organization, and that gets us a bunch of leads. And then we try to find the business that we're thinking of, or the development that we're thinking of, or the agent that we're thinking of. And that is around the listing space of, are you found? And what's your reputation like? Can I trust you? And are you involved in social media? How social are you? And are people liking you on social media and commenting on you? And then do you have a website that makes it easy for me to find the information that I'm looking for and to get a hold of the organization that I'm trying to do business with? And if any of these pieces of the buyer's funnel are out of whack, our advertising that we're doing on behalf of our customers is just going to benefit the competitor. So it's very important that we have that foundation nailed down, because we may be able to take our competitors' advertising budgets and put them to use for ourselves. So those 5 pillars of the virtual doorway are very important: advertising, listings, reputation, social, and website. And we are starting to tell the story that that listings, reputation, social world is really starting to blur together. Listing sites are becoming very review focused. Social sites have listing benefit. And all of those 3 areas are really starting to play in the same world. And that's when we talk about voice search. We may be, when we're searching for something online, we might be looking for, 3-bedroom house close to a park, or a 3-bedroom house close to a school. Voice search really changes the way that consumers look for information online. So when we are utilizing the platform to start to talk to these folks in the real estate space that we want to be talking to, we've got the developers. And it's when we start looking at researching developers and what their opportunities are, I want to go into the platform and have a look at that. And the first thing I've looked here is we're doing a real estate focused webinar, but maybe what we should be thinking about is what the developers go through. So in our local market, one of the big developers are Dream, or Homes by Dream. And Homes by Dream is launching a new thing called Brighton. And Brighton is a new development. I drive by it every day. And we should probably put the city in. So my point is here around the developers, they've got a whole different challenge, because if I look up Homes by Dream, you can see that Brighton doesn't even rank because it's a whole new area in the city that isn't even really on a map. What comes up when I go Homes by Dream, I get Dream Development, which is their corporate office on 8th Street. But there is this development that's going on in Brighton. in our local market here of Saskatoon. And I'm using this as an example because I drive by it every day. And you can see that it's just not found. It just doesn't exist. And there's a bunch of show homes there. So how do we help these folks make sure that when I'm going to look for the parade of homes in Brighton development, and you could do this in every major market in North America, how do I make sure that these things are showing up? And when I look at this, we're still not even close to where this development is on the map. In fact, the development is right out here, where you can see my hand, the far right-hand side of this map. And the reason that we're not able to find it is it doesn't even exist on the map yet. So when we first start thinking about the real estate space and real estate developers, we need to make sure that they are found. And that is local search. So the local search piece of this is really important from the development standpoint. And I don't care whether it's a condo development in Miami, or it's something happening in downtown London, or it's a development in Sydney, Australia. You can use any of our markets, but you need to make sure that these developments are listed. And yeah, it's only going to be there for a while. The show home is only going to be there for a while. But the key to it is when I go out on a Saturday and I'm in the market to buy a new home, I need to be able to find it on the map. I need to be able to find the development on a map. And you could go into any market that we are working with through our partnerships around the world. And this is going to be an exciting opportunity for you, because essentially what's happening is when I search Brighton in Saskatoon, which is a development, I drive by it every day. I know where it is. And I know there's some home builders in there that I respect, like D&S Homes, which is probably one of the most prominent home developers in our marketplace. But when I search D&S Homes show home in Brighton, it doesn't exist because they haven't created the listings there. Now, we know that we've got a bunch of tools within the platform that'll help us do that. But it's like any business. It's a brand new business. If we don't have their listings right, they are invisible online. So when I go here and I do my voice search and I say, Siri, show me a home builder with 3-bedroom homes. Siri's going to go online and find something that looks like that. And for all of our home developers that don't have their listings right, they're missing out. So this is an enormous opportunity, making sure that those show homes or those developments, condo developments is a really good example. I was in Miami here about a month and a half ago. I noticed that my colleague Bill Ferguson is on the webinar today. Bill and I were in Miami, and the one thing we noticed is we drove into downtown Miami. There's 15 cranes that are building condo developments. Each one of those developments have beautiful full-page ads inside the Where Miami magazine, which is in our hotel room, inside Indulge magazine, which is a division of the Miami Herald newspaper. But when we go to search them online, most times, 9 out of 10 do not have their listings corrected, so or even developed. So this listing piece is a very important part to the puzzle, because if I search anything, and this is the Magic 3 on Google, you can do it a voice search, you can type it in, condo development downtown Miami, who's going to rank here? It's the ones that have their listings correct that are going to show up first. And then when we start to build around that knowledge, around the information that's here, we have reviews, we have the hours that the show home is open or the development is open. We maybe can upload some information, which is a menu or a brochure, and put some sort of some information around there, just a quick description. Maybe we upload some photos. So all of this, when we talk about the developer side of things, our first piece, we need to make sure that we can actually find the real estate development. So for local SEO, all 6 of these exercises apply to the real estate developer. They also apply to the real estate brokerage, and they also apply to the real estate agent. So the real estate agent should have a verified Google My Business listing. They should get some Google reviews or some testimonials. They should have consistent listing data. They should be building new listings. When we search the real estate agent in the local market, do they have all of their information correct when it comes to hours of operation, the things that they specialize in, some photos that represent them properly, and then are they adding content to their website on a regular basis? Because having a website with a mobile experience is a very important part of local SEO as well. And we could delve into the reputation portion for real estate organizations, because we know that reputation is a very important piece of the puzzle. Consumers are going to look at what other people have said about those developments, what other people have said about those brokerages, and what other people have said about those agents. I'm more likely to select a real estate agent that has a whole bunch of positive word of mouth online. So that's where this reputation piece plays in. And I could go through the usual George Leith shtick around reputation, negative reviews, no reviews, bunch of reviews. But what I really want to nail down in this presentation is I believe that everyone in the real estate, land development, brokerage space should be reaching out to their customers asking for feedback. And, put my money where my mouth is. I do this all the time. Chrissy F., which is listed on this screenshot here, she was one of our guests at my speaking engagement last week. And you can see that I asked her for a comment on that. So, I'm asking everybody that I come in contact with testimonials, because I want to make sure that I'm building that brand. And we also need to know what's being said about us. So maybe, just maybe, at one of my events, I said some things that didn't appeal to the audience. I want to know about that. So there's, the first piece in the real estate space is we need to start getting people saying positive stuff about us. But then also we need to know if something negative has happened or even positive has happened, so we can reach out to those folks. So knowing what's being said is an important piece of this puzzle. So those 5 exercises for reputation in the real estate space: know what's being said, respond to every review, positive or negative. Keep in mind, Chrissy, who left that review about me, that was earlier today, within minutes, because I have the tool to know what's being said about my brand, I was able to respond. And then make sure getting reviews is a part of our daily workflow. I am constantly thinking about getting reviews for our organization and for myself, because those are testimonials. And then take those testimonials and push them out. So, when you've been doing some social media work, and I hope that everybody on this call is engaging in social media on a daily basis for their own personal brands or their agency or media company's brands. But when you're thinking about that, there is going to come a day, and it happens to me all the time, where I'm like, oh, what do I post today? Well, imagine if you had that 5-star review and those great comments from Chrissy, which I now have. So I know what tomorrow's post is going to be. It's that 5-star review that I received from Chrissy, and I can push that out to my over 7,000 followers on LinkedIn, my over 15,000 or 1,500 followers on Facebook, and my 500 followers on Twitter. Having those positive comments, I can amplify that to my group. And then I want everybody inside the organization thinking about reviews, because reviews are talking about the things we've done right. They also are giving us suggestions about things that we can improve inside our organization. The other thing that I always talk about when we're dealing with the brokerages is the HR component of reviews. So knowing what's being said about your organization on Glassdoor and Indeed is a very important piece of the puzzle, because it can help us coach our staff and know where our staff are feeling about their involvement with the organization. So social media, the 4 exercises that we're really pushing right now: are all your social channels claimed? So even for these developments, when we look in the real estate space, we created development for Brighton, for DNS Homes and the show homes that they have there. Are they tweeting about those? Are they posting on Facebook about those? Do they have the correct address there? Because somebody might have went to that show home, and if they haven't claimed it, somebody might have checked in there, claimed the listing on their behalf, and it doesn't have the right information, plus they can't interact. So that's number 2 here. Are you able to interact? Well, if you haven't even claimed the social channel for that show home, you can't interact with the people that are probably checking in there and you don't even know about it. And you can't even respond to the reviews or comments without claiming that site. So this is a really important piece of the puzzle. And I've been working with a lot of real estate agents over the years and real estate development companies to say that when you create, as soon as you put the crane in the ground to build that condo development, or you put the backhoe in the ground to dig the basement, you should be claiming the listing sites and the social channels for that rooftop. And I know it's a show home and I know it's eventually going to sell. So then you just shut all that stuff off when it becomes George Leith's house. But up until that point of time, that is a business. That is a rooftop that you want to make sure the listings are correct on. You want to make sure that you're monitoring what's being said about it. You want to make sure that if people are saying positive things and checking in there, that you're weighing in on that. So those are all really important pieces to this puzzle. And then when people have checked in at that show home or at that condo development or at that real estate office, that you have identified the audience and you're continuing to reach out to them. So that's a really important piece of the puzzle when it comes to social media. Claiming the listing site so that you have the social channels claimed, interacting with those people when they make comments, responding to comments and reviews, and then utilizing the audience that you've created to continue to market to those people and lookalike audiences. So, I get asked this question all the time. What is my budget, or what is a potential budget for people in this space? And, when we start talking about developments, let's use our friends at DNS Homes, for instance. They have 12, my last count was 12 show homes in 12 different developments. So when we make a call on those folks and we want to go in and look at the opportunity, there's 12 rooftops that we need to monitor, and we need to create listings for, and we need to have a social media plan, and we need to give them reports on all that activity. We need to respond to any reviews that are there, and we need to solicit those positive comments. So when somebody walks through the show home and we collect their email address, we send out a request for feedback. How was your experience at our show home? What did you think of it? They leave some comments. We push them to, if they're positive, we push them to leave those online. If they're negative, we deal with them and we have a happy customer. So I think that on those, look at real estate developments are a lot of money. They're a huge investment. There's a big upside. These folks are some of the biggest advertisers in the marketplace. So I think that you can push for a $700 to $1,000 buy on every one of those locations. But you need to come in with a really well thought out proposal. And we've laid this presentation out where you can start to tell that story. So now I'm talking about developers right now. So you look at a real estate development, it's multi-million-dollar deal. They're going to sell a whole bunch of them. The cost of acquiring a customer is very high. So you can very much think that this is in the $1,000 a month type of an opportunity if you really paint the story properly. We also can step down a little bit where we come in with a little smaller social media plan, but we're still responding to positive and negative reviews and starting to drive that reputation. So in the developer space, I really would be looking around that $1,000 to $500 a month retail rate. Now, the next piece of this is if they've got multiple developments, you want to put a brands dashboard on top of that so you can monitor all of that chatter and comments that are happening around multiple locations. So that's on the development side. Now, from the broker side, it's a little different play because we've got this brokerage firm. So a Remax firm or something like that, they're going to want to protect the overall reputation of that firm, but then they also have their agents underneath, and they may actually turn into being your best salespeople to get all the 20 or 30 agents involved. So if you can go to the brokerage office and say, make a very compelling case as to why they should be involved, and then say to them, listen, if you talk to the agents and get them involved, maybe we can get them to pay for some of this at the high end. So, I've done this a number of different ways where if you tell a compelling story at the brokerage office, they might just say, no, we want this for the office. And then here's our list of agents. You can go contact them. So, there's a couple different ways that we can do this. So inside this collateral, which we're going to upload to the resource center, I've put a number of different packages in here that I think play very well. As a real estate agent, I may be working out of an office, maybe a shared office space, maybe it's the broker's office, maybe it's my house, but I need to have my listings right so that I can show up and search. So, we definitely want to be talking about listings, utilizing our listing solutions, claiming their Google My Business. Some of them may say they want to do it themselves. That's why we have a DIY solution in here as well. So I've included all of these various items. But what I want to dig into, now that we've talked about the foundation part, I believe that developers, brokerages, and real estate agents all need to claim their listings. They need to be responding to reviews. They need to be generating reviews and feedback on their brand. They need to be involved in social media and developing audiences and building followers and then reaching out to lookalike audiences. But there also is this world of advertising. And the reason why I'm so bullish about advertising in the real estate space is they've been spending billions of dollars on advertising for years. So moving people into digital advertising makes a lot of sense. And I'm seeing agents that are advertising in our marketplace that one of the things that differentiates them in this very competitive space of real estate agents is the fact that they're using digital advertising to promote the house that you're listing with them. So think about that for a minute. You're going to list your house with an agent. You're going to look for the agent that is you consider to be the best. You consider to do the best job of marketing. You consider to be the best agent for advertising. So when I talk to a real estate agent about the value proposition and why he should work with me, and the me being myself representing one of our partners, is I'm going to make you the best advertiser in the marketplace because that's going to get you more listings. So for the real estate agency and agent to be seen as the best advertiser in the marketplace is a really big, compelling reason for people to list their homes. Because when people go to a real estate agent to list their home, it's because they don't know anything about any of this stuff. They don't know anything about geo-targeting. They don't know anything about retargeting. They don't know anything about display advertising, SEM, Facebook marketing. So to talk to a real estate agent as an agency and say, I'm going to make all of these tools available to you is a very compelling discussion. And I really believe that that's where we set ourselves apart. So again, I've got three different groups that we're talking about here. We've got the brokerage firm, and they want to advertise their firm because they want to promote the brand. They want to find more real estate agents. They want people to think Remax when they come into a marketplace, or Century 21 or Exit, or I could keep listing them off. So that's the piece on the brokerage side. On the developer side, they want people to think about their real estate development. And then on the agent side, they want to be seen as the agent that you want to list your home with because they're the best at advertising. So I really believe that when you're talking to real estate agents, you want to really lean on the fact that you can help them become better advertisers. And advertising, of course, has changed, where we want to be using digital technology. We want to be able to target the customer that is in the market for that home that we're marketing or that condo development. But we also want to be able to track the ROI behind this. And we're utilizing best in class products like programmatic and robots to make sure that we're utilizing the right things. We're focused on getting phone calls and getting visits to the home. So, all of this stuff applies with geofencing, display advertising, search advertising, Facebook lead ads. But the way that we sell it to the real estate agent is that we are going to make you an expert at advertising. So when people think of listing their home, they think of you in the marketplace by giving you access to all of the latest technology. So it's a real compelling story when you start talking to these three different groups around the items that we've been referring to in this program. And I'm going to supply you with all of this collateral so you can have this conversation. But, and right down to telling the agent that they can record all the calls. And they could even show those great calls to the person that listed their home with them. So, when you think about this from within the real estate space, the real estate agent gets paid a percentage for the listing, and then they get paid a percentage when they sell a house to their customers. So by being able to make them an expert in advertising might set them apart from the other real estate agents in the marketplace. And we have a number of different packages within this, and your success agents can help you have this discussion and talk to you some more about this. So, we're really excited about the real estate space. It's one of the ones that I have thought a lot about. And, when we're working in the digital advertising for the real estate space, there are those three different types of customers. We've got the developer, we've got the brokerage firm, we've got the real estate agent themselves. and we could sell to all three of those. I get really excited when I look inside our markets. I know that we can go in and help those people, and it doesn't matter which one it is. So I hope today what we were able to do with this webinar was give you some things that can really help you in the real estate space. Again, we were speaking to three different types of customers, and there's three different ways that you want to approach this. We've got our real estate developer. So that is the person, whether it's a show home or it's a condo development, they are the people that have invested the big bucks, and they've got the crane in the air, or they got the backhoe, and they're digging the basement, or they're building the condo development, and they've got a very specific set of things that they need. They want to make sure the development is listed. They want to make sure that they've got their social profiles claimed. They want to start building a social audience. They want to hopefully have people check in when they come on Facebook and say they were there, because that spreads out. They want to make sure that they're monitoring what's being said about the development. They want to push all the positive comments, and they want to make sure you can find that development when you're out shopping on a Saturday or Sunday. So that's your developers. Brokers, complete different group of in the real estate space. They've got a different thing that they want. They want their brokerage to be seen as one of the key brokers in the marketplace. Think Remax, Century 21, Exit. There's a number of them out there. They're looking for new real estate agents. They're looking for that. They also are looking to be the trusted provider in the marketplace for their brand. They want to know if a real estate agent isn't happy. They might have went to Glassdoor and said some things. So there's an HR component to it. And they also want to be promoting their brokerage's brand in the marketplace. And then we've got our real estate agents. It is an enormously competitive space. Real estate agents have two different things that they do. They list homes, and then they also find people to buy homes. And in the listing space, it's very competitive. They want to be seen as advertising experts. They want to talk about the fact that we're going to make sure that that we've got a good reputation as a listing agent. But then also, if we're the agent that's trusted to help us find a home, we need to be trusted as an agent that digs deep, negotiates hard, got me a great price. So there's a number of things around their brand. So all three of these have a specific opportunity around them, and you could utilize the platform to help find them, to help nurture those, to help upsell opportunities. So for those of you who've been with us for a while, and maybe let's say you've been very successful in getting developers to utilize it to get their listings right, to get their reputation in place, now you can layer on digital advertising to do an upsell. On the agent side, all those folks are always looking to do advertising and marketing. So there's that advertising piece, but then there also is getting their virtual doorway looking great. I think that every real estate agent out there should be requesting reviews at every turn, because that just helps to build their brand and help to build their offsite SEO or presence management. So we're going to dig deep next week into some other vertical specific opportunities. And I hope to do this over the next few months, because it's one of the things that's been requested. We did autos here a couple weeks ago, and we did lawyers. Now we've done real estate. We're going to move into more of these as the weeks continue. Thanks for joining me on the Weekly Sales Webinar. We're back here every Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern. My name is George Leith. I will see you when I see you.